Today I want to do something different than my usual rant that you guys are used to. I may have mentioned in the past that I have some friends that do a podcast. Full plug, it's called Faded on Memory Lane, not down. I got it wrong last time. And the general gist of the show is they talk about things that happened in the past. One week they featured the Ninja Turtles. One episode they talked about The Legend of Zelda. I was kind of hurt they didn't bring me in on that one, but whatever. But this week I want to make my vlog as a response to their podcast, which they talked about Halo. And we're talking Halo 1 here for the Xbox, the original Halo, the one that started it all. This game is near and dear to my heart, as I'm sure it is to lots of gamers. So, in spirit of the podcast, I want to add a little bit more to the conversation. Also, I've been playing Destiny, which is a new title from Bungie, who are the original creators of Halo. I also recommend that you catch the podcast, and I'll put a link in the description below. In my honest opinion, if there was an FPS Bible, the first testament would be 007 for the N64, and the New Testament would be Halo 1. Halo kind of changed how FPS was perceived by most. FPS, previously only GoldenEye, which was the first-person shooter for Nintendo 64, was mainly driven on PC, like Battlefield, Doom, those kind of games. And at the time, it was one of the first released games for the next-gen Xbox back in 2001, so compared to what was out there, the graphics were amazing. The levels were gorgeous, the AI was smart, the music was riveting. It really drew you in as far as a good game. The physics were good, the handling of the vehicles, the warthogs, the ghosts, the tanks, everything felt very natural from a controls perspective. It was very easy to get sucked into. There were new kind of items in the FPS. There was invisibility, overshield, and my personal favorite, the sticky grenade. Nothing says you just got pwned with a glowing fuzz on your face. And you have to admit, for my fellow gamers out there, that if you got a sticky grenade on your face, you knew you were pwned and you just kind of had to suck it and eat it. Likewise, if you have thrown a sticky grenade from across the level and nailed some dude, glory is yours. I did want to do a little bit more on the story of Halo, however, they did cover that in the podcast, and I would recommend that you listen to that, and that way you kind of get the full gist if you don't really know the story of Halo. I would have preferred to focus on some things they did talk about that I thought was importantly missed in the podcast. They briefly touched on the world that Halo created, the storylines, the novels that spawned from it, the prequels, sequels, everything of that sort. But there was a whole subculture that was born from Halo. You may have heard of a company called Roosterteeth. They got their start making Red vs. Blue, which is machinima, which basically featured the characters in-game having dialogue with themselves. The show ran for multiple seasons through all the different iterations of Halo. I don't even know if it's continually going, but it might be. And Roosterteeth really became a huge company from this franchise. It branched out to other machinima, and now they are a legitimate force to be reckoned with on the internet. Very similarly to The Matrix, Halo also had an animated series of shorts called Halo Legends, where they actually featured different types of stories from the Halo universe, maybe some pre-story. Very, very good. If you haven't seen that, check that out. Halo 2 was one of the first games to be featured with multiplayer online for Xbox Live, which quintessentially changed first-person shooters for consoles again. But now that I've ranted for my love of Halo and I've expressed to you why I think it was such a great game, I want to divert to more of what I've been doing lately, and that's been playing the new game Destiny. This game is gorgeous, and just like Halo, it continues to explore a beautiful sci-fi reality. The only way I can describe the game, it's like Borderlands meets Halo meets Diablo. Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones is a voiceover as one of the main characters in the... And it's also worth noting that this game, coming in made at $9 billion, is the most expensive game ever made, so you can kind of see where the production value in this game went. So if you have a console out there and you don't need the next gens, they made it for PS3 and Xbox 360, I would highly recommend picking up Destiny. It's definitely worth the 50, 60 bucks, whatever you're going to pay for it. These are one of those games that are once-in-a-lifetime releases. I can say I'm a very satisfied customer of the franchise thus far. I'm still early on in the game and I haven't completed much of it, but as of this recording, I'm more than pleased. So, hopefully I'll be making a vlog next week, and next week I'll be back to more of the usual talk about whatever I'm thinking kind of stuff. But today, it just happened to be about video games. Just remember, go check out my friend's podcast. It's worth a listen. watch this video next week, and I will talk to you folks later.
Hi, I'm Michael Aragon. I like to vlog and talk about important stuff to me. Like, have you heard of this thing going on? I don't know what's going on in the world.